Does your website need more traffic? Well, visit overflowcafe.com today. They make websites popular, and over 41,000 people use their service to gain more customers. They are winning our business. What about you? Visit overflowcafe.com today.
Hi, this is your girl T with Rockafellas Barbershop, located at 1733 Babcock in San Antonio, Texas. Whether you're looking for a haircut, a shave, braids, dreads, weaves, color, we do it all here at Rockafellas. You can hit me up at 210-884-9046. That's for call or text. And on Facebook and Instagram at Takesha Williams. That's TAKESHIA Williams. And you're listening to us now on I Am Refocused podcast on iHeartradio.
You are listening to I Am Refocused podcast special edition with your host, Shemaya Reed. This podcast is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. Now, let's tune into today's podcast.
This is I Am Refocused podcast, and today, man, it's a special edition because you guys know on Thursdays we're at Rockafellas Barbershop, our main partner. If you want a haircut, man, make sure you go there. Shout out to the owner of that barbershop, Rico Rodriguez, and also, man, big shout out to Miss Kim of River City Donuts, also Baby McClinton of All Sports Speed and Conditioning. He's been training NFL players, NBA players, so make sure you check out his website, allsportsfitness.net. I also want to give a shout out to D&W Brooks Funeral Home. And last but not least, does your business need traffic for their website? Man, you need to go to overflowcafe.com. They're 41,000 clients strong. They've been in the business since the 90s, so they're not doing anything wrong. They're doing everything correct. So on today's show, man, we have an awesome show for you guys. We have a rock band. The band is Blood Son. And I'm talking to the drummer / vocalist, Caleb Lee. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? I'm glad to be here.
Awesome, man. So tell us about Blood Son. How did you guys come together?
Man, we started playing together when we were maybe 16 years old. Mm-hmm. You know, just kids who loved music and just, you know, messing around. And, you know, we just found that we loved it. Couldn't explain why. It was just, you know, it was almost primal, you know. And so we got into it and we just kept doing it and started playing shows. And here we are, you know, we're all about 22. We've been playing, you know, as the band that became Blood Son for 4 years. And it's just like out of nowhere, you know, serious things started happening. So that's why we're here.
That's awesome. And heavy metal, what influenced you guys to just get going as far as releasing commercial projects? Like, did you guys always have that mindset, or did you guys start out just being, you know, having fun?
Man, it started just having fun. It was fun. It's what we like to do. And, you know, everyone has the dream, and obviously the dream was to play music in any capacity, honestly. And, you know, we just kind of trudged forward and never really had any opportunities. You know, we're from a very small town in South Carolina, just right outside of Clemson, if you know where that's at. There's not a whole lot of opportunities. You know, there's no music scene. There's nothing. And so there's really no help. But, you know, it's just our passion. We were driven. We just kept pushing forward. And, you know, I'm not gonna lie, we got very lucky. We had some opportunities come to us. We got signed. We got, you know, tour offers, and, you know, and here we are with an album about to come out, about to go on a very, very big tour. It's, you know, it's crazy to think about it, you know.
And how did you all form the name Blood Son?
It's kind of a funny story. So we spent almost all 4 years as the band Absolute Zero. And, you know, we got kind of popular locally under that name. We had hundreds and hundreds of shirts. You know, people wear them. People still wear them around here. You know, you see them. And, you know, we got signed and ended up, you know, with management, and they advised us, you know, this name has been taken by, you know, 1,000 different bands throughout the world. And eventually you guys can get to any point of success and someone's going to pull the carpet out from under you and say, this is our name. So we were put in a situation where we had to come up with a band name because we signed a tour contract. And so we sat there, we figured out maybe, I'm not exaggerating, probably 1,000 different names, which were all legitimately good names that, someone could use, but they just weren't the name for us,
Mm-hmm.
And when I don't know. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. When it comes to you guys perform on stage, like, how long did it take for you guys to just gel? Like, because you go from being the backyard garage band to boom spotlight. How was it?
A lot longer than I would care to admit to. There was some really rough years, but you look back on it and you got to let it go. You can't get too upset about it. You just sort of laugh about it. I'm sure if you look back at what you were doing at 16, there's some things you might kind of cringe at, and it's no difference here, But we were fortunate. After a while, you keep sharpening your tools, you get better and better, and that's really what helps us time. And so,
When was the first time you guys stepped foot in the studio and recorded your first song?
Oh gosh. Just like you were talking about a second ago, some bad experiences, some really bad recordings, man. We stepped in. We had a guy who was opening a studio and he wanted to work with us. He saw us play live. He liked our energy. He liked how we were getting the crowd involved. He liked that we were young because I was maybe 18, 19 at the time. And so, of course, we went in here. Our heads were swollen. We thought we were, because we were in here for free. The guy liked us. And, it kicked our butts, man. We weren't ready. We weren't there, musically on a musicianship level. The songs weren't there. It turned out really bad. But again, it's one of those things you look back on it and you cringe, but you learn from it. You don't really lose anything as long as you learn from it. And, our experience in the studio this past time has been incredible. We've had a great team of people around us helping us, from the engineers that, when it goes up the ladder to the producers, the mix and the mastering. We've been very fortunate to have a solid crew of people around us making us sound better than we really are.
And what is your favorite process? Is it releasing the music to your fans, or is it just being in the studio in the making of?
Man, there's a lot of people that enjoy being in the studio. I don't. Music for me is all about playing. It's about being in front of someone and listening a reaction, whether that's they turn away and don't look at you, or whether they, throw their fists up and start bobbing their heads. The studio doesn't do a whole lot for me. It's nice to actually, be in a position where we're releasing something, because we've worked really hard on this, and, a lot of this music's really near and dear to my heart. So to be able to sort of share that with people is, it's different. It's a different feeling, It's the best way I could describe it.
And, let's kind of dive into this up and coming project. It's about to drop April 20th, right?
420.
Man, tell us about this. What's the name of the project? And let's get into it.
Yeah, it's self-titled. So it'll be called Blood Sun, or the Blood Sun EP, or, we tossed around some names, but it sort of seemed fitting. And, the album cover actually doesn't have the logo or anything on it. It's just a picture of a blood sun. So, it's the culmination of years and years of hard work. And to see all of that actually come to fruition and actually be a physical thing that you can touch and you can listen to, and it's there. It's an incredible feeling. It's many years in the making. All of those years playing shows where we just embarrassed ourselves and didn't quite realize it. All the years in the studio where it's the same thing. You go in there and you think you're big and bad, and you come out and you hear it and you're like, whoa. I feel like we sort of paid our dues with all of that and really started working. And it's just, like I said, it's the culmination of all of that.
And when it comes to, you're about to go on tour with this project too, correct?
That's correct.
What is one thing that you are looking forward to meeting new people that are listening to your music?
Yeah, it's about eliciting some sort of connection. And, a lot of metal these days, there's not a whole lot to it. And you can say that with all genres of music. Mm-hmm. It seems like a lot of the depth and, the intricacies and the lyrics having meaning, the songs meaning something has sort of went away. And I feel like that's something we've very much captured. So to be able to share this music with people and have them get it and understand it and, be right there with us is something I'm extremely looking forward to.
Have y'all ever experienced fans coming up to you and ask for autographs yet?
Yes. But typically they're a little too intoxicated to really, they don't really want our autographs. They saw us playing and they were really drunk. And I'll tell you a prime example. There was a guy who could barely stand up straight. He pulled an Ingles grocery store receipt out of his pocket and had me sign the back of it.
Wow.
So I don't know that counts, but to answer your question, yes, to some extent.
That's pretty cool. Like, how do you guys, or you individually, how do you handle the fame and just everyone getting so excited? Because, at one point they didn't know you and now they know you.
And this is not to say that we're at any sort of true level of fame or anything, but the last few weeks with the album coming out, with a tour coming up, it has been different. It seems like we spent 4 years of our lives working so hard, maybe to get that attention and maybe to get that response. And we just went so many years without it. It's just like we would work so hard and put everything we had into it and got nothing in return. And so now that we're kind of getting it in return, it's maybe we went so long working for it that it lost its meaning. So it's cool, but it's not all that special to us. We're honestly worried more about, getting this album in front of as many people as we can and playing our hearts out every night on this tour.
And if you're now just tuning in, we are talking to Caleb Lee, the drummer / vocalist of the rock band Blood Sun. And since we're talking about people and engagement and just getting them excited and doing the work, what is your favorite song on the up and coming project?
Oh man, it's tough. Some of these songs we've had for 2 years or so. Some of them are brand new. There's one in particular I'm very proud of how it turned out. It's a song called Revelations. And it touches on some stuff. It's sort of about kind of about climate change and how we've responded to it. And when I say respond to it, I mean not responded to it. And it's kind of set after we've destroyed the world. And sort of coming to grips with, we knew that what we were doing was essentially killing ourselves, but we did it, why not? We're humans. We're the only ones that matter, right? It's sort of a kind of tongue in cheek,
What I was going to say, when it comes to when you guys are writing, are there any debates going on, or is it just someone takes the role?
No, I write all the lyrics.
Okay.
I write all the melodies for the vocals and stuff. So it's sort of weird. I sit down and I get an idea, I get motivated, and it all sort of just comes out. And I'll tweak it to maybe fit a little bit better. And, because sometimes you can be a little wordy. You can have too many words in a verse and it just sound like a jumbled up mess. I try to honestly not get too political or religious or anti-religious, because I feel like that kind of thing will separate your audience. But something like this, it's a little vague. I don't think you could hear it and instantly pick out that that's what it's about. And it's a little more tongue in cheek. It's like, yeah, we know we were screwing ourselves, but we did it anyways because why not? We're humans. We're going to do what we want. And it's sort of dealing with the aftermath. So, and it honestly gets a little somber. It's like, we screwed ourselves, but we got to deal with it.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. So someone who's going to listen to this awesome project that's going to come out April 20th, what is that one thing that you hope they take away from this project?
That's a great question. I hope they want to listen to it again. I hope there's some part, whether it be a line in the lyrics or whether it be, a melody or the way that we stack the vocal harmonies or one of the guitar solos or something that just draws them in. Because whenever I listen to music, there's always something. There's some part of an album, whether it just be the harmonies that they chose, whether it be the lyrics or the melody, there's always something that I feel like draws you in. And I hope that there's something that draws them in, because there's a lot of depth and there's a lot of intricacies hidden inside the album. And I hope that they're able to pick that out.
That's very awesome. What I would like to ask next is, what do you see in the future for Blood Sun? Like, what's some of the goals you would like to accomplish with your band in the next year?
So we got this tour going on. The goal is obviously to stay out on the road and obviously, continue pushing the album and going places. So that's the goal. It's kind of tough, being in this position. The world is sort of your oyster and there's so many things you can go and do, but it's hard to know if you're doing the right thing. And obviously you got to wait for opportunities, stuff like that.
And being, in music industry, it's an entrepreneurship type of thing. What's some of the roller coaster rides you guys are getting used to?
Man, so I'm not going to lie, when we first got signed, it was every day was a roller coaster. There's days where we were top of the world, and there were days where it's like, I don't know how we're going to make it to tomorrow. It was maybe three weeks of that where it was just one day we're on cloud nine and the next day it's like we're, I guess whatever the opposite of cloud nine is, we're in hell or whatever, yeah, exactly. And it was crazy because you would think that would be the greatest moment of your life. You're like, wow, like we finally did this. And, and there was times where it was like that, but, you could never have expected that.
I like that. Now, when it comes to you guys trying to get as much exposure, you guys are doing it. If anything, if you had a checklist, it's obviously you're doing something right to be able to go on tour, be able to release a project. What's some of the things that you are looking forward to do as you go along this journey, getting everybody listening to your music?
Like I said, it's just trying to get as many people as we can to connect with it. And obviously, you put it in front of a crowd of people and we play it and they see us. And obviously, not everyone's it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but there's going to be someone somewhere in that audience that loves it. And it's just trying to build as many of those people as we can, because I really enjoy our music. And I feel like someone out there is bound to enjoy it just as much as I do. So it's about finding those people.
How has your friends reacted to you guys coming out with this new project and forming the band?
So my friends have always known me to be in a band. Like that's since I was, 15, 16 years old. It's always been my thing. And, to say that our band ever did anything before now, absolutely not. We did nothing. We played a bunch of local shows, but we couldn't get anywhere, couldn't do anything. So when everything just sort of exploded and things got serious, my friends really, really supported me. It sort of blew me away how they reacted, because it's like they've seen all the years, the years of work, hard work that we put in, money that we spent. They've seen it up close, and I guess for them to see it actually start to pay off. I won't say like pay off, but see it begin to pay off is, it's a pretty crazy thing to see,
And when you guys first started, taking this band as actual potential to do something great versus just having fun, did you guys have discussions for business moves, or is it just let's see what happens?
It's somewhere in between. We try to meticulously plan everything as best that we can, but at the same time, you could plan, or at least in our experience, you can plan something as meticulously as you possibly can. And when you go to execute said plan, the bottom falls out and it goes completely awry, and you just have no control over it. So, we try to be very business minded and smart and make the right moves. But at the same time, there's still that kind of go with the flow mentality to it as well. So it's the way that I would like to describe it is controlled chaos. If that makes any sense to you, because if you make it too much about the business, and granted, the business side is very important. It's imperative that you master it, and it's tough, and there's not a lot of information on it. But for us, it doesn't matter if we have an album out, or if we're playing to a crowd of thousands of people, or if we're playing to a crowd of nobody. Because we've played to full houses, we've played to nobody. Literally have played to nobody before.
That's interesting.
There was one point where the sound man walked inside to get a beer, so we literally played to 0 people.
Wow.
It comes with it. Comes with a position. You just. And even then, we were just as happy playing to nobody as we were playing to, thousands of people, because we genuinely love what we do, which is where we get some of that go with the flow mentality, because a lot of bands are worried, how much money am I making, or how many merch sales do we have? How many album sales do we have as of today? We're just like, I really just want to go play. So it's like you set yourself up to succeed. Obviously, you have the right merch and good profit margins in it and everything, and have it to where it's easy for them to purchase and all of that. But it's really about just going out there and having fun, and the rest will sort of fall in place.
That's really interesting how you illustrate that, because that can be applied to any field. If you're an ice cream shop and you worry about flavors of ice cream but not worry about the customer's reaction, well, good luck with that, because you're not gonna have fun. You can be stressing out.
And here's the thing, using your analogy, if you're genuinely passionate about ice cream, or anything, whether it's music or whatever business you want to go into, get obsessed with it. Just envelop yourself in whatever it is that you're doing. With us, it's music, and the rest will inevitably fall into place as long as you set things up to where they will fall in place, which is, it's where the more planning stuff goes in, the meticulous stuff. But the go with the flow is more just focus on your craft.
And I know you stated earlier in the show that music is the number one thing that is more important than anything else, and connecting to your listeners. Well, I have to ask this question. I'm sure your fans going to want to know, if you can perform anywhere for a concert, where would that be and why?
Anywhere.
Like you had a free blank check waiting for you tomorrow. Man.
So I don't know how much you know about this, but down in South America, the crowds are rabid. They are insane. They go crazy, and especially if you're in a stadium or something. I know we're sort of dreaming here, but it is what it is. If you got a stadium of 60,000 people who are all going absolutely manic for however long you're out there, that's where I would really love to play. You could be awful. You could be terrible, and they're going to love you. They're just going to go insane. It's just one of those things that you see. So probably South America.
Well, hopefully South America is listening, because maybe Blood's son can make a trip there, man. You never know.
One day.
And that's the way, most people who are successful and doing well with their career, they take it one step at a time. So you never know. Like, anything is possible, man.
Absolutely.
Now, speak to your fellow friends in the music industry, man. Say there's a rock band out there who wants to be in the position you and your friends are. What's some words of wisdom that you would tell them for them to take the right steps?
Oh, man. So here's the biggest thing for me. I had a pretty good, successful gig. I worked in finance. I made a really good salary, had a nice house. And I sort of gave all that up to do this because this is what I wanted to do. I had a friend of mine, and he's in a pretty, or was in a pretty big band. I'm not gonna name names or anything, but he sort of told me his story. He said, I was sort of in the same boat. Could have went to college. Parents had a nice house right beside the college. It was paid for. He decided to go out to California to sleep on someone's couch to go play in a band, and ended up in one of the biggest bands in the world for several years.
Wow.
So you have to want it. You have to want it to the point where you're willing to sacrifice everything for it, because that's what I did. It was comfortable. I had a good job, had a nice house. But if I would have lived to 40, 50 years old and not given this a shot, I don't know how I would live with myself, because there's nothing in this world that satisfies me as much as music has. So if you want it, go for it. But you can't half-ass go for it. You've got to all in 110%. Everything you've got has to go into it, because if you don't, you got no chance.
That is so true. And also, somebody else will, because
for sure, if
you look at every single major celebrity, some of them got a lucky break, but most of them, about 99% of them, they bust their butt and they knew what the results, what they wanted. And a lot of the times you hear the stories, like, you go behind the scenes, you take away the spotlights, you take away the makeup for making people look nice and fresh on TV. It gets ugly, and people got stories, and that's what it's all about. It's these stories, and that's what this platform, I Am Refocused podcast on iHeartradio, is all about. We want to get that story, and with your band and your story, I'm sure you're going to inspire a lot of people and gain a lot of new fans to go check out your music that's coming out on April 20th, man. Y'all excited?
420.
Are y'all throwing a party?
I'm pumped. More than likely, yeah.
Is it going to be friends and family, or are you just going to see what happens?
Probably be just friends. We're not big partiers, honestly. To be in a rock band, I know it's shocking.
I was about to say, what?
Cliche. But
I got some R&B going.
I'd rather sit back with my friends and have a beer and not let things get too crazy. That's just not really my environment, which it's maybe yours, maybe anybody's. It's not mine. That's not for me.
That's cool. I mean, what was really cool about this interview, I like getting inside people's heads and seeing from their perspective life. And for you and your friends, it's just playing good music. And now you have an opportunity for the whole world to hear your sound. So,
absolutely.
Last but not least, man, before we even close this show, man, how can people stay in contact with your band on social media and website?
Absolutely. So the website is bloodsun.net. Facebook is facebook.com/bloodsunband. You can find us, we'll have some stuff on YouTube, and we're just Blood Sun on YouTube. Again, pre-orders for the album start April 13th, Friday the 13th. It's just 2 days away. It'll be there then. And then you've got April 20th, 420. Album comes out. It'll be everywhere. Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Pandora, whatever service you use, we're there.
That's awesome, man. Well, there y'all have it, man. Blood Sun. We are talking to Caleb Lee, the drummer / vocalist for the band. And that's, again, Blood Sun. They better come out on April 20th. with some hot, cool music. You can tell I'm not a rocker, but hey, this is still dope, man. This is what it's all about. Who you want to give a shout out to, man?
Oh, shout out to my mom. Yeah, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I will say now that I got sort of the chance to, I do want to say thanks to all the people involved with the album, our producer, mix and mastering, the engineer, all the people that support us. We have a pretty big team, and we'd be here all night if I named everyone, but just the support from our people internally has really made it a lot easier for us to do this. Without them, we couldn't make it possible. But come see us on tour. Starts April 27th in Flint, Michigan. If you go to our Facebook page or our website, you can get all the tour dates. We're out for about a month during the spring. You'll probably catch us on tour again sometime this summer. We'll be with Mighty Mushroomhead. They're a huge band. We can't wait. You can find me on Instagram. It's just Caleb Lee BS for Blood Son.
Awesome. And what about your guitar player and bass player?
I honestly don't know what their things are. If you find me on there,
okay,
you see them on there. You can get to them.
Awesome. So, man, guitar player Andrew Duncan and bass player Adam Duncan, are they brothers?
Yep, they sure are.
Awesome. So you're keeping in the family a little bit too. That's awesome, man. Well,
these guys are my brothers, so that's all it is. That's how we roll. We're just one big family.
That's the way it should be, man. And I want to say thank you so much for getting on the show, because everybody's voice is important. And I really believe our audience is going to gain some good knowledge and wisdom from hearing your story, man.
I hope so. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. And like I say, guys, on every single show, man, keep God first, stay focused, and peace. I want to thank Blood Son, the drummer / vocalist, Caleb Lee, for being on the show. And make sure y'all go get the album, man. And that is April 20th. Don't you ever stop dreaming big. Keep going, and God bless. Peace.